In this tutorial, we're going to take this hero unit for our website from the SquareForge, and we're going to rebuild it from the ground up, showing how you can use the standard Squarespace website to create a hero unit that looks like this. We'll also drop in a background photo, and we'll do a little bit of tweaking before finally checking on mobile. So to kick things off, I'm going to edit this page here. And as with the SquareForge, we can just click on the favorite option to save this panel as a favorite section. This is where we can go across to our playground, our demo page, and click Edit. And now we're going to add a new section. Once we've clicked on that, we can go to Saved Sections, and from here, we can click on our hero. From this stage, we can start editing our layout. The benefit of this structure is if we've got quite a detailed background photo, and I'm going to use a free photo from Unsplash, just as an example. I'm going to try and pick one that's got plenty of detail in, or potentially a light background. This one here might do the job. Bear in mind, in Squarespace, we can change the focal point to adjust where that photo sits within this letterbox frame, and we can see how well this card section really works. If I wanted to rebuild this section now, I can go into Add Section, and this time I'm going to add a blank section. And I'm going to put the same background image in place. This time I can select from library because I've already added it. Now I can proceed to add the content. So I'm adding in a text block and I'm moving it to the right-hand side here. And I'm just going to, in this case, just copy and paste that text. We can see that's a heading 2 and that's a paragraph 2. So just to keep it exactly in line, that's what I'm going to paste it in here. And a relatively new feature with Squarespace Fluid Engine is the option to add a style background. So I'm going to click on that option, enable the background, and then put it to large padding. We can see it's already started to take shape. And now I can expand it to fill some extra columns by clicking and dragging on the edge of the bounding box. And our card effect is in place. Next step is to add in a button. And from here, I can double click and change the design. I could choose to get it to fit to match the design above. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the fill option, but when we toggle back to it, we can see it drops there. So that's just a personal taste and also what fits best with the website that you're working on. So to go back and put that to fit, I'm also going to align it to the left-hand side, just so we've got that nice, clean alignment on the left-hand side between the content block and the button. One thing I forgot to do was to change the text within the button, so I can double-click and do this again. And there we have it, something that looks pretty close to the example above. I can edit the section because I want to realign the positioning of the image to match the example above. I could also change the overlay opacity, and we can see it's got a white overlay on this particular example. So if I change it to darkest 1, we get a stronger contrast between our background image and our cards overlaying it. It's not essential because this is on a solid background color. One thing to note though, by changing that color, we've also changed the button as well. So another option would be to change it back or just toggle through the different color options you've got available. So for example, I might go to lightest 1 and then just remove the opacity altogether. I could also go in and edit this background photo to increase the contrast. There we go. We've got 2 different layouts, one built from the ground up, one using our shortcuts using SquareForge. If you have the budget, I'm biased, but SquareForge is well worth it. However, if you're working to a limited budget, then this is how you can build the layout from scratch. I'll be showing loads more tutorials on this. And before we wrap up with this tutorial, we're just going to test it on mobile and see how the two compare. So this example here, which has a medium margin on the text, this one has a large. I think I prefer the large, but that's personal preference. And the other benefit here as well is we've got more of the image above here. Now, coincidentally, there isn't a great deal of the image to show here. So this is where I could adjust the mobile positioning or change the focal point on the image to match what I want. Whilst with this example, probably lends itself to having the buttons further down and the text block further down so we can see that mountain range behind. Again, fine-tune, get it to a stage where you're happy with it. And what I recommend is, for consistency across multiple pages, would be to save this section as a favorite once you've got it tested on desktop and mobile, so you can reuse it on other pages on your site. Hope you found this helpful. By all means, check out the description for offers and deals available around Squarespace and SquareForge. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Cheers.